Listen now. When you look at Abraham trusting God for a child, was he impotent? But in Sarah, will your seed be called now? God has said, the seed I want to give you. This is the woman that... So the issue was not Abraham's inability to impregnate other women. He could do that every day of his life. And it was proven with Hagar. Which is my next series. Isaac and Ishmael. To study how a man can bet two extremes. And how to avoid the pitfall. Alright? He could do it. He could do anything he wanted to do. But faith now is, I choose to do it your way. I'm saying the things you are waiting on God for, you can do it your way. What God honors is that you forsake your own way to say, I choose to do it his way. That's faith. Amen. Say, I walk in faith. Come on, say it again. I walk in faith. All right, so I'm going somewhere with the story, this story of Esau and Jacob. Okay, so let's turn our Bibles. We read this on Sunday. I just want to reiterate, then I show you a few things about this place. All right, so if you look at the life of Jacob, you see smartness every time, trying to outsmart. He's a guy with so many formulas. He knows the way. No peace. He's right. There's no rest for him. His head is always calculating. If this one doesn't work, it will work. All right. If Niger no work, Japan or UK. If UK no do, Jamaica or to Australia. All right. You look at all this formula. The person has options, and you cannot see where God is in the equation. You can do life. And you can have an economy that you can even be preaching about that is a product of you not considering God. There is a success that you can actually get outside God. But good success comes from waiting on him. Are you following what I'm saying here? So this guy, no rest. Every time agitated and all that. You look at the story, Genesis 32, when they were going to go and meet Esau, he has already divided the thing. He has said, okay, you people should go here. I will come. Then another strategy is that we're going to send this. And then when we send that, it's just like church. Somebody is planting a church. It says, this person doesn't pray, doesn't fast, doesn't seek the face of God. Say that by time, right? Somebody was sharing with me something. Somebody went to plant a church somewhere, right, in a city. The person came to the city with millions of naira. Millions of naira. Listen to what I'm saying. Millions of naira. The fellow began to say things like, we are going to take over this city. We are going to take over this city. We are going to take over. When people are talking from their own human advantage, it sounds like faith until that point of the advantage is broken. All right, where was he talking from? We'll take over this city because we have money. So they will run service, and every Sunday they sit people down and share millions of naira and say, you people will do this strategy for billboard, this strategy for that. Listen to what I'm saying. The one who came with God, they'll be looking at him ahead. Are you following what I'm saying here? Human effort. Say, we run this strategy. At the end of the day, you spend over 50 million. 6 members. People will tell themselves that when I went to that church, they gave full chicken or first timer package. All right, hostel people, they will tell their people in the hostel. So you go and run them. We will go run another church. If it is not grace, it can't look like it. Are you following what I'm saying? It is this smartness, it is this wisdom. It is this, I know what I can do. I know what I should do. I know the route. I know. When you come to the end, you will find God. You will. All right, let me quickly show you a few things. All right, so he went to meet Esau. His brother Esau said, listen, I'm blessed. All right, so keep the things you have brought to yourself. Now, the Bible said something very profound. Genesis chapter number 32. Genesis chapter number 32. All right, look at the story. Verse 22. The Bible said, and he rose up at midnight and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over, all right, the ford of Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook. All right, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there he wrestled with a man until the breaking of the day. Listen to what I'm saying. The fight did not start until he was left alone. There are situations where you are stripped off people, or people are stripped off you, that you will cry. But it is God positioning you to know him. Are you following what I'm saying? That point you get to, that you are left alone. That point, that is alone now. That point, as simple as we are saying it, it is a tough point for many to get to. Is alone now fasting. Is alone now seeking the face of God. You can get to that point through obedience to the promptings of the Spirit, or God allows situations of life get you to that point. Adversity can make you be alone. Obedience can make you be alone. If you would not choose the way of obedience, then God is not going to bring adversity, but he will permit it. That is, he will step aside and say that, go and check him out. The devil, if the prince of this world had known, they will not have crucified the Lord of glory. See, listen, the devil is a schoolmaster. When he thinks he's afflicting believers, he's actually assisting the purpose of God in the life of believers. Anyway, anyhow, for a man that God has decided to walk with, to be alone, is a blessing. Look at all the life of Jacob, all the life since the father blessed him, he went to wander, this. Finally! And Jacob was alone. The moment he was alone, we found out God couldn't wait. Some of you need to be alone this December. 3 days. 3 days. Alone with God. And because you are not used to being alone, it's not your thing. So you discover that when you come to that point of being alone to read the Bible, it is weird. You don't know when you pick your mobile phone again. Stop it. Be alone. The phone is a world you escape into. Maybe the screen is broken now, so you can be alone. Maybe it's now lagging, and when you press, it will stay long, so you can be alone. Maybe you can't even afford to buy data now, so you can be alone. Maybe the network of your house is exceptionally bad, so you can be alone. Don't escape. Don't run. Don't dodge. Don't hide. Don't emotionally hide yourself. God wants to catch you in a corner. The most beautiful things in our life, they are bettered when we are alone. That's where you hear clearly, pure streams. Many of us are in the midst of noise, agitations, buy this, buy that. Too many comparison on the internet. People who are ahead, those who are behind. And you forget that people post their best on the internet. And you feel you are behind in God's purpose because you are not alone. Comparing themselves with themselves, they become fools because you are not alone. The instruction God has, listen to what I'm saying. The moment there is a pregnancy a Mary is carrying, you cannot carry that pregnancy to the midst of crowd. You must carry that pregnancy to an Elizabeth who knows what it means to be alone. There are instructions that will die once you take them to where the crowd are. Even correct instructions will look wrong because it's not at their level of maturity. Be careful who check what God is saying with you. Particularly those who are loud, who are not walking in that level of devotion to God. When people, I tell people, see, people ask me, church grow this, I said, see, have a structure to have moments in your life that you bolt the door behind you and throw away the key, seeking just one thing, light. If you look at the tabernacle of old, in the holies of holies, there's no light there. The light of that place is the presence of God. When you journey away from the noise and the cares of life, you come to that place where the illumination you will receive is God. If you come out from that place, you come out with that revelation. The first thing, go and check, pray, see God. God gives you instruction. The moment you come out, the first thing you face is adversity, whose target is to kill the instruction. You can come out with a major word for 2024. You just can't tell the reason why your husband begin to misbehave, or your wife begin to misbehave, or your children begin to misbehave, because the seed that fell on the rock is like one that receives the word, and then the sun comes, which is adversity, but because it has no root, it dies. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't just bear shoot upwards, bear root downwards. Root is a lone journey. Shoot is in the midst of crowd. Listen to what I'm saying. Growth is two ways. Shoot and root, and what? Shoot. If you can preach better, they will say you have grown. It's not true. Root first is that we now know your prayer time has increased. That's root. Nobody is saying that. Your study time has increased. That's root. Nobody is saying that. Your consecration has increased. That's root. Nobody is saying that. Your worship has increased. That's root. Nobody is saying that. When you have root, you will have shoot. Many people, for the past 10 years, God has not been able to get you alone. Oh, this job, if this one is not working, that job. Oh, you have never paused and asked, what will you have me do? And amazingly, that was the first question of Paul when Jesus encountered him. Lord, what will you have me do? If that's the question you can ask in this season, what should I do next? What's the next thing, Lord? What do you want from me? I know what it means to be alone for years. 7 years. I want to share a bit of my story. To finish campus, we all had plans. Things we could do. All right, had plans. I already started high in London University of Tropical Medicine for masters. And my roommate, that we all were pastors in that room, called all of us at devotion in the morning. And he said, I had a vision overnight. And he said, I saw all of us walking in a vineyard. And when it was time and everyone were submitting their cutlasses, he said, you and I came to submit ours last. And the owner of the vineyard said, we still have 2 more years to work. So we separated ourselves, 3 days dry fasting, sought the face of God, and God said, stay with me in this land for another 2 years in fasting and prayer daily. So I began that 2 years. All right, because at some point we got to ask ourselves, how are we going to survive? We are men, this. You know what that means? It means all our colleagues have gone for service and they were uploading pictures. And after service, because I was the pastor, campus pastor, all right, the people you prayed for on campus, even your juniors have gone. And they are coming back to that same environment and they are meeting you there. And sometimes when you go for their meetings and they preach, they are stylishly telling others how not to be like you. Because when you say except a grain of first fall down to the ground and die, do you know what that means? No, you don't know reproach until you know death. Go and check. Go to the mortuary. See how they treat dead bodies. You will wonder, there was a time this person was alive. Oh. They will put the person there on the slab. This is, watch this. The nakedness is open. When there's death, there's shame. And it is part of the growth process. Tell me you are strong if you have not faced death. Do you know what it means to die? Not fainting. At a point where there's no form of comeliness. Where people can almost write and put full stuff. How are the mighty falling? But that's when God is just inventing a story. And I remember in the midst of that situation, many times I will wake up in the morning and this one is saying, we have gone for lectures, we have gone to work, and I will be in the room. And I will hold the window of the room and shake it. Lose me now. Let me go. I'm not a lazy man. An instruction is binding you. You heard it. You can't see the one who said it. And you know you can't jump out because you have signed a deal. And sometimes you go for, and are you following what I'm saying here? What was I doing 2 years straight up? Fasting and praying 6 to 6, 6 to 6, 6 to 6. All right. What was I doing? One time I tried to teach. God said, resign. Stay with me in the place of prayer. I will carry my Bible and dress with a briefcase like I'm going to work. Dress, tucking my shirt with tie. Are you following what I'm saying there? Tucking with tie. Carry my briefcase. What is inside? Bible, book, and Kenneth Hagin book or some other books I read. I will go and sit down. They already gave me a prayer room in the orphanage home. I will sit down there, study the Bible from this. By the time I'm done studying at night, when they are trying to done studying and praying, when they are now cooking for the orphans and the children, they will send one of them, go and give pastor his food. That is the daily bread. We go again the following day. Seasons where you know that you have a message, but nobody's hearing it. If you talk to people in your circle, small people, everywhere is charged. But it looks like there is, God insisted, the voice will not go beyond this. Because listen, God is not ready to export a voice of a man he has not matured. Are you following what I'm saying here? This thing, we want to jump out of obscurity. We better be careful. Be alone. Let God get you alone. Don't think. Don't argue. Just submit. It's difficult for many people. Okay, I give up now. What do you want? When will you be done? That's the question. When will you be tired? When will you discover that the race is not to the swift and this battle is not to the strong? When? Do you understand? The moment one relationship ends, before it ends, you already have somebody else in your mind as a replacement, and you don't waste time. When? And he rose up at night, that night, and took 2 of his wives and 2 of his women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the Fort Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over all that he had. And Jacob was left alone. Jacob was left alone. Jacob was left alone. No media interruption, no internet, no phone calls, no disturbance, no friends, alone with God. You need it. You need it. For some of you, this is a call for a retreat. This is a call for a retreat. You are getting too many unnecessary notifications. So tag you. Check. You need it. Ask your neighbor, when will you ever be alone? When will you ever be without a woman in your life saying, I love you? No relationship and nobody in view. Like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 1 year.